In this training, we are leaving no man behind. Yeah, so it's going to be all of us, all of us. All right, welcome, welcome, welcome to the very first edition of Virtual Media Bootcamp series brought to you by the National Young Adult and Youth Affairs, the Office of the Director of Media. It's a privilege to have you guys join us. You guys are the real VIPs there. You guys are the real MVP here. We are all gathered here because you signed up for this training. So wherever you are, just appreciate yourself, celebrate yourself. We are delighted to have you here. We are excited that you are in this training. And of course, we are here for you. We are here for you. So please, we have 100 participants. Okay, so under the good number. If you've not shared the link to your status, please just do so in 1 minute before you say a word of prayer. Just do so in 1 minute. So by 7:20, the kickoff time is fast spent. So please just make sure you're sharing that link. We want to have everybody join to this training because the knowledge that our facilitators are ready to give us tonight, in fact, no matter what you used to carry, you can't take it all. You can't take it all. So let's have this shared to more people. Let's make sure that we are blessing people with this opportunity of this virtual bootcamp series. So please go ahead and share the link. All right. So welcome everybody, and let's start with a short word of prayer. Um, Thank you, Jesus, for this wonderful training. Thank you for bringing it to life from just an idea. We ask that as we continue and we proceed, we would achieve the utmost goal, which is that we become skilled and then use this skill for the kingdom. That in and through us, oh Lord, your name is glorified. For in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. 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 Amen and amen. All right. Thank you all. So you can just use the chat box. Just use the chat box. Type in your amen. Type in your fire emojis. All right. Let's keep it coming. Let's keep it coming. I really love the energy. I really love the energy. All right. So of course, we have an overflow. Yeah. If you want to join the overflow, we have our overflow right there on YouTube because Zoom is now our maximum. Also, oh my God. So if you are joined a minute later, you will not be seeing my face right now. So Zoom is now our maximum, but yes, we are trying to. There is room for overflow on YouTube. So if your friend is in your DM saying, we are full, we're very sorry, you know, you just have to join the overflow. All right. So that's why it's important that you do things in time. All right. So for today, this is day one of virtual bootcamp. Very shortly, I'll be bringing up our first speaker. Without further ado, we know that the network is being a lot, right? But please, we are trying to make best of it. So please, as you join the overflow, ensure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's not just about joining. Actually, we need you to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Even if you are not in the overflow, you can still click on the link. I just shared it with us. And let's have it in the overflow. Let's have it in the overflow. So for our very first session in this incredible virtual media bootcamp, we'll be speaking about mastering the act of content creation. Mastering the act of content creation. We're not just talking about you doing content creation like every other person is doing it. We are saying that we want you to do content creation with mastery, and no better person can take this session than someone who has mastered such space herself. With Jesus' joy, people of God, I want you to welcome. I want you to welcome the national head of Media, Young Adult and Youth Affairs, Mrs. Mojisola Session Aino, as she takes us on mastering the act of content creation. You're very welcome. All right, all right, all right. Our facilitator is having a bit of a delay. You know, as they used to say, clap louder, she will come faster. So in this virtual edition, if you celebrate her more, she's going to come up faster. We have 100 participants. I expect that at least 100 chats, right? So let's have more. Let's appreciate. Let's celebrate her as she comes in. Let's appreciate her as she comes in. Let's keep clapping. Let's keep clapping. Chat box. Let's engage it. I really, really, really love the energy. Really love the energy. Let's keep it coming. Okay, okay, okay. So, because of time, we are going to be moving to the next facilitator. Because of time, we're going to be moving to the next facilitator. Please just give us a minute as we get it sorted. All right, all right, all right. It's an amazing training this evening, and we are very, very excited. We are very, very excited. We are very, very excited. Okay, so let's keep it coming. Let's keep it coming. Let's keep it coming. Oh my. All right, all right, all right, all right. Let's keep it coming. Okay, we're trying to get in. We're going to try to get it. So please, while we are waiting on that, you know, I love to make use of every single spare time available. If you have not shared the overflow, we need to actually work on that right away. So wherever you are, just go back to WhatsApp. Yes, I know some of you are already on TikTok and all of those platforms, but go back to WhatsApp now and then just copy the link of the overflow and post it on your status. We know already that this is full already. This is full already. So please make sure that you join us in the overflow. You can just type that on your status and make sure you join us on the overflow. We are trying to make sure that we have our next facilitator up for us shortly. And like I mentioned earlier, we are here because of you. And we are here to make sure that you get all that you need to be a very, very excellent media person, and not just in the church, but even in your professional space. Yeah, let me share this, right. What you are learning now is not something that would just be for now. It's going to be something that you can also use in your media space, in your professional career. All right. So it's not just something, okay, because it's a church that's organizing it, or the end of it is just your church. No, there is more to it. The whole media space, we have media as a mountain of influence, and we are taking it for Jesus. All right. So, brethren, okay, all right, brethren, we're making sure that the next facilitator is ready. So with Jesus' joy, people of God, right, we have one of the very key persons in our society. So we are going to be taking the section, one of the section we've had to jump because of time. So this particular section, yes, let me catch your attention. It's talking about pixels for purpose, leveraging designs to preach the gospel. I need you to take your time to allow that sink in, right? And to take us on this particular session is no other person than Akindo Emmanuel. Let's appreciate him. We're going to have Mama Muji come back up later. So now let's have Akindo Emmanuel as he takes us on the session of Pixel for Purpose. You're very most welcome, sir.
All right, good evening, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
All right, I really want to appreciate first the organizers of this boot camp, and also I would like to appreciate every one of us that are here tonight. I mean, it's a very good and wonderful thing that we all come in our numbers. I mean, I was really amazed. I was really amazed seeing the population. We had over 1,500, close to 2,000 for that matter, registered for this bootcamp in just 4 days, less than 5 days for that matter. That was awesome. I mean, it's really wonderful. All right, so I would be sharing my screen soon so that you can have a look of what we have for you today. So just like the moderator has said, I will be taking us in the creative design space, pixels for purpose, leveraging design for the spread of the gospel. I mean, this is a church media boot camp, basically. As a designer, it's very important that we know that the essence of the designs that we do is for the gospel. I mean, it's for the gospel. Yeah. So let's shoot at it. Okay. I am Tom. My name is Akindo Emmanuel, as introduced. I'm a graphic designer and a creative leader. I just have this thing for tech. I don't know. I mean, I graduated as a biochemist, but I just have the thing for tech, and I'm a purpose-driven designer. Yeah, I believe purpose is very important. We'll still dive deeper into your purpose, your place as a designer. I mean, in the media space and in the spread of the gospel. All right, let's go there. So this is what we'd have tonight, what I will be talking about. I have an overview of what everything we'll be talking about, pixels for purpose. They will be talking about what pixels are and for what purpose can we make use of them in the spread of the gospel. And the main highlight of this conversation is going to be what we can use pixels for, basically, as kingdom designers. I mean, I was very wowed by the number of designers we had on the team. I mean, for your information, we had the highest. I'm proud to say that we have the highest number of attendees for this boot camp. I mean, the designers basically. So also we'll be diving into the storytelling, how your designs can tell story basically. All right, let's go into the overview, basically. All right, pixels for purpose. When we say pixels for purpose, what are we talking about? What are pixels? Let's break it down one after the other. One after the other. Pixels. Pixels are the smallest unit of digital information in an image. I mean, if you see an image, if you see any visual display, it's made up of pixels. Just like in the image you can see on the slide there, this image, Super Mario image, is made up of tiny, tiny dots. And these tiny dots are what comes together to form the image, basically. I mean, why trying to study and to prepare for this? boot camp and just trying to check, okay, what topic can we talk about? What thing can we talk about as designers, basically, and for the purpose of the kingdom as well, and the spread of the gospel. I It's very important to take things at the basic level. I mean, this is a bootcamp series. It's not just going to stop here. We still have a lot of sessions after now. I mean, in subsequent months to come. So we'll take it from the basis. Yeah, we'll take it from the basis. Pixels are arranged in a grid form to form an image. Basically, just so you can see on the, I mean, all I have here is expressed on the image, the Super Mario image itself. Now, the combination of pixels and their colors, they are the one that creates the images that we see, those beautiful designs. I'll be sharing, I mean, aside from my slides, I'll be taking you through some designs that we've seen so far and all of that, some of the great artists have done, and even some of my own personal works as well. Pixels can be used to create digital image, graphics, and even videos. I mean, and even videos. Now, that very Dr. Maismuro said something. He said, when the purpose of a thing is not known, abuse is inevitable. I know this is a very popular quote that a lot of us, I mean, just quote, but sometimes we abuse. And it's very important that we know the purpose of a thing. What's, as a designer, you ask yourself, what's the purpose of this design that I'm doing? What's the purpose? You ask yourself, okay, I was told to design a church flyer for this, and that for a certain program. Okay, what purpose is this design going to serve? I mean, even in the kingdom, in soul winning, there is transformation and all of those things. But what purpose is your design is going to do? Is it just to inform people about the event, or to persuade people about the event, or to even make them come? And even, and you can even get to a level that your designs can actually communicate God's presence itself. I mean, that's the purpose of a kingdom design. You understand that even before people come for the event, I mean, they are blessed already from your design. I would share a testimony that someone shared with me. I will share later on. So let's go. So we'll be moving on to the main highlight of this bootcamp. Pixels for storytelling in visual design. Pixels for storytelling in visual design. I believe in storytelling, and if you go through the scriptures, you understand that there are certain times and periods whereby Jesus Christ even talked to people in parables. I mean, we have a lot of parables, parable of the sower, parable of the lost coin, a lot of them, a lot of them. And these are strategies that we can make use of as creatives to actually spread the gospel. Storytelling. Let's dive into it. All right. So what we have here now is, when we're talking about pixels for storytelling in visual designs, what are the elements that would have to actually do this storytelling? Number one, your image. Your image actually does a lot in communicating the message of your design. Just like we said, when the purpose of a thing is not known, abuse is inevitable. When the purpose of a thing is not known, abuse is inevitable. Please, moderator, if I have when it's 15 to 10 minutes to when I'm supposed to end, please kindly let me know. Thank you, sir. All right. So image can be used to create Pixels can be used to create images that evoke emotions and convey a message. Now, it is very important that we are aware that images are very, very essential in storytelling, in communicating. As a designer, you get to work on images, you get to work on colors, you could get to work on typography. We're still going to be talking about a lot of all these stuffs. I mean, before the end of this series. Now, I have a design here. I remember I worked on this design, okay, just like the date around July, basically. So it's a church flyer, definitely. And the theme of the Sunday then was my local church and I, my local church and I. And I asked myself, okay, what do we have? What does the local church talks about? I mean, when we say the church, we talked about the church is not the building, it is ourselves. But when we say my local church, then we are talking about the building itself. So the building itself. So my local church and I mean, with the imagery on the design, like you can see, it speculates the message of the design. And that's how it has to be. Your design should communicate a message, a message. Now, moving on to the next one, typography. Typography. I mean, a lot of people would know that text are just more than font. I mean, it's very important to know that with your text, you can communicate feelings. I mean, when you see danger, uh, for example, when you see danger written in sans serif or serif font typeface, you will know it's actually danger. But imagine seeing something like danger written in Comic Sans that looks kind of childish, fun, playful, and all of that. You won't experience the message, even despite the word is there. You understand? I mean, I have some series of by the way, I take this from Pinterest for the sake of reference, for the sake of reference. So thanks to our amazing designers that did it. These are some typeface manipulation, basically. You know, the words, the text itself communicates the words. And that's the main message here. I know a lot of us would have seen some couple of designs and we see text manipulation and all of that. I mean, even in branding, that's what we do to our logo mark, our word mark. We kind of communicate the essence of the message through the text. I don't know if a couple of us have seen the main design for the International Youth Convention for this year, which is of the theme Dominion. If you look at the typeface itself, it communicates Dominion. You understand? Just like we have here volume. When you hear volume, you think about something moving from a low state to an high state. You understand? We have I5 and the text is not just there. I mean, the typeface also communicates the message of the typography. And so also, that's what your typography can do. Actually, in every of your designs, ask yourself, this typography should be able to evoke the emotion that I want it to be. It must communicate. It also adds to story. So that the action point is just that you don't just use any font for just any design. I mean, you don't just use Comic Sans when you should use sans serif. You don't use slap when you should use serif font. You understand? So you should ensure that everything you do is you are very intentional. You are very intentional about it. All right, moving on, we have color. In fact, this is a major deal. I trust you know about that. This is a major deal. You can't joke with color. You can't joke with color. There's something we call the psychology of color, and I'm sure most of designers would know it. I mean, if you don't, just put it down in your note. I'm sure we have a note anyways. Just put it down. Try to check it out after now. Then you will know that red is not just red. You will know that blue is not just blue. You are communicating something. Understand? Yellow is not just yellow. You are actually communicating something. Pixels can be used to create a color palette that sets the tone and mood for a story. The other time I made mention of danger. I mean, as an example. So imagine you see danger rating on a yellow background, or even say, let's say on a blue background. It will really catch your attention. it won't catch your attention. But when you see it written on a red background, you know, this is danger itself. You understand? That's what color does. And I just have beside my words here an image that talks about some meanings to that we ascribe to some certain colors. I mean, that's color psychology. And aside that, there's also color combination. That is what color goes with this color. I mean, we have complementary colors, we have analogous colors, we have trihedral colors. All of these things, there are things you should know as a designer. You understand? You should know that when you use an high contrast color, like say white, you don't use another high contrast color with it, like say yellow. You understand? So white cannot go with yellow, not because they are enemies, but because they are of the same contrast. You get what I'm saying? So when a simple law of color combination is just that ensure you use something that will be visible. I mean, you can try to check up Adobe Color. Just type on your Google or whatever, Adobe Color. It has a way of helping you to check the contrast of each of the color. The contrast of each of the color. I would have loved to show you. Let me see if I can show you that right away. I'm going to switch to another screen. All right. Just give me some minutes. Okay, very good. I'm sure you can see this. This is Adobe Color. Very good. So what we have here basically is just Adobe Color is one of the very important tools you can use as a designer. You should not take it for granted. I mean, even if you don't know anything about color, this can actually help you. You understand? Yeah, you can generate color palette for your designs. Yeah, maybe, for example, let's say you see a very interesting design out there, you really love it, but you don't know the hex codes of the colors there. This is your go-to place. You understand? You can generate color. Now, I was talking about contrast the other time, right? So let's take a look at this. Now, just go to your accessibility tools. There you can check the ratio of contrast. That is, okay, this color would go with this color. You understand? This color would go with this color. Then that is to say, for example, I was talking about we don't use two high contrast color the other time. Let's check it out. When I say high contrast color, I'm talking about something like this. Now look at the ratio that we have here. I believe we can see my screen. I have 1.75 ratio 1. You can see this is a very bad contrast ratio. You can see it's even stated here that don't use it. Now you have contrast suggestions. Let's say you have a color, you can just put the hex code here. You can put the background color here. You can see text color and background color. You know, when we see a lot of designs out there, a lot of us don't really know how to add these colors together. And you kind of imagine, look at the preview. I mean, the people that are colorblind, I mean, you have to take them into consideration. They cannot read this. You understand? Even a normal individual with eye, very sharp eye, cannot even read it. You understand? So it's very, very important. It's very, very important that you know how to make use of your color. I mean, another resource that will also like to give us, yeah, is color name. A lot of people don't know about this website. It's very, very don't tell anybody. All right, you can tell somebody anyway. I mean, we have to know that in the kingdom you don't grow in isolation. Try to grow with people, learn and share knowledge as well. So the website name is just color name. What do you do with this? Now, a lot of us are not good with color names. I mean, let's say, for example, you even do church event branding or branding for someone and all of that. And all you just have is the hex code. You can just put it here. Oh, what's the name of this color? Then let's check it out. We have, for example, this color is called Eton Blue. You can see it here. The color name of S code, this is Eton Blue. And you have everything about the color. Everything about the color. even including the colors you can use with it. You know, I was talking about combinations of color the other time, right? Complementary palettes. That is, if you want to use this color, this is the complementary one. Analogous, I talked about that too. This is the colors that go with it. So I will try to put that in. I mean, before the end of this session, I'll try to put the links of this website on the chat boxes so that you can make reference to them and make use. This is triadic and all of that. All right. So another resource that I would like to show you is colors. I mean, there are a lot of things. Colors. This one too, you can use to generate. Let's say, for example, I want to generate colors and all of that. I mean, it's just very. Why am I emphasizing on this? I mean, I've seen a lot of things. I've seen a lot of designs that some people, you can just step up in your color combinations. I mean, your designs will be awesome and it will do the job that it should do. All right, moving on. I will be sharing my slide back. Okay, so we've talked about color. Let's move on to the next one. Now, pixels for storytelling. We have lines. Lines. Many of us don't know. I mean, lines are very, very important. Lines do a whole lot of things, making the work easier. Lines can be used to create a sense of movement or direction. I mean, a lot of us have seen all of this. And let me share this. Most of the time, some of us don't know the names of these things. I mean, we don't have to search it. I've been there before and I'm still there. I mean, a lot of couple of elements and resources outside. I'm like, okay, what's the name of this thing? What's it called? You understand? So we have things like Dodu. We call some of them Dodu, we call some of them arrows. Just type it. I know a lot of us, I won't want to assume. So I want to share another important resource. I know that's one of the reasons why we ensure that you are in this class. You will not just be here, you will learn. You will learn. So we are talking about now, this is free pick. I'm so sure a lot of us know free pick. Just search Dodus. Free pick is not free, though. It's called free pick. I mean, when it started, it was free, but a lot of them are not free. Imagine just Dodus. A lot of these can be used for amazing designs, amazing designs. So I know my time is fast spent, even if I'm not being told. I know. All right. So moving on. I really want us to do a bit of case studies. What do you think, guys? I think we should do a bit of case study. So this is where I'll be digressing so that we'll be drawing the curtain to the end of this presentation. That is to say, uh, how can we, when I see a design, how can I know that this is a good design that I've done? I mean, when I've done a design, how can I know this is a good design that I've done? So I'm going to be sharing with you. This is Pinterest. This is Pinterest. In fact, if there is any website that will give the best to help creativity, I mean the design or even in any sphere, I'll give it to Pinterest. A lot of us undermine. Let me tell you a little short story about myself. Now, there were sometimes I really hate Pinterest. Do you know why? Because a couple of images and what I see there that have low quality. It's not something I can use to even create design. And I usually want to go for premium things. I want to go for something of high quality. As much as that is important, I find it difficult to find the right resources for the right thing to do. So let's look at this. I will be going to some of the designs that I've done. Um, all right. So we are talking about pixels creating story. Pixels creating story. I will be sharing one important design that I did for a church. All right, this is one of them. I mean, this is a Mother's Day design. I'm sure you can see my screen anyways. All right. So now, when doing this design, I was like, what message am I telling with this design? And from the typography to the color to the imagery to the elements involved, everything must be saying one voice. That's one thing about storytelling. Everything should be saying one message. I mean, one message. Your typography should not be saying Jesus is Lord. I mean, in a way, and your color is saying another thing. Maybe your color is talking about hellfire or fire. No, no, no. So it's very important. I mean, you can see pink is a feminine color, and that's why it's used on this design. The color pink. And because we are talking about Mother's Day, and we have flowers, we have the mother and the child. Now, the typography itself, the perspective to the typography was from the child's point of view. You know, a mother is someone that takes care. And if you look at the hem and the hole, there's a wrapping around, even from the image. You understand? It talks about this typography itself. I had to manipulate it myself. Like I didn't download this way. I had to go into Illustrator and do the manipulation myself. And that's one thing you have to learn to as a designer. You have to know how to tweak things to make it unique. So that when people see it, they won't find something like that to anywhere else. It becomes your signature, it becomes your thing. You understand? So the hem wraps around the whole and the T, talking about the motherly love that we all enjoy from our mothers. I mean, that's just that. Let me also take us through some other designs that I have here. It's very important. It's very important that we know. Now, I'm
Mr.
going to be
Tom,
sharing with
kindly check
us.
your chat, sir.
What to say?
Kindly check your Zoom chat.
Okay. All right. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay. So this design is a Thanksgiving. I mean, tomorrow is Thanksgiving Sunday and all of that. This design was on for Thanksgiving. And I was like, okay, on the Bible, we know David to be a person that loves praising God. You understand? Okay. And I got to know that, okay, the instrument that David plays is harp, right? Harp, harp, or it is also called her. So the essence of these designs was to emphasize on that. And David was a king. I mean, at the end of the day, he became a king. And that's the essence of the gold color that this design have. You understand? So your design must communicate. There must be a point of view to your design. The way you arrange your thing, you know, we have principle of design talking about hierarchy, talking about alignment, talking about contrast, your size, your spacing, and all of those things. All of those things are not just theoretical. They are things that have played role in a lot of designs. I mean, masterpiece that you've seen out there, a lot of things that you've seen out there. Now, okay, I will also talk about some anti-designs. I mean, there are anti-designs. So when we say anti-designs, designs that go to against the normal design, basically the normal principle. We just do things the way we want, and this is an example. But one thing is the intentionality. When you break the rule of designs, you have to be intentional about it. But nevertheless, you will still be consistent. Just like this design, all you can see is just 3 to 4 colors there. I mean, the main color palette of the designs. That alignment, well, scattered, but it's very important. I think I will be wrapping up here. Um, what I would just ensure to tell us is that as designers, we serve a major purpose in spreading the gospels through the artwork that we do, through the pictures, through the designs. Yeah, through the designs is very important. You can also do that. All right. Thank you for having me. I remember myself, Tom. You can check me up online at official tomtech or akindoyin.ima. Thank you for listening. God bless you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tom. Thank you for such a wonderful presentation. All right, so in the next 2 minutes, what I want us to do briefly is drop in the chat box one thing that stood out so much to you. I mean, I cannot recover from the fact that I said in the kingdom, you don't grow in isolation, right? So share in the chat box here on Zoom that one thing that stood out to you in the delivery. I mean, it was such a very, very wonderful presentation. So in the next 2 minutes, we have the time to write key points that stood out to you. I'm waiting for our messages. You know, even on YouTube, in the overflow, just type in that one thing that stood out exceptionally to you in that wonderful presentation. And of course, we know that you can connect with our facilitator, Mr. Akindoyin Emmanuel, on his handles at Tomtech, as you can see in his wallpaper, yeah, his Zoom profile, you can see, so just kindly check, right? So it's important that we share. I'm waiting for what we learned so that we're not just going on to the next session and it doesn't look like it's just about the numbers, about the facilitators coming to speak. All right, thank you, Mr. Olaoluwa. All right, let's keep sharing, let's keep sharing, let's keep it sharing. So if you have questions, please ensure that you drop it as well. They will be attended to. All right, so drop in your questions. We're going to get back to them. We're going to get to them. Okay, so it's 8 p.m. my time. Please feel free to drop in what you learned. I know some of us are not with our phones. We're connected via hand-free devices, but as you can hear my voice, just kindly head back to this Zoom app, type what has stood out to you the most, and we are moving rapidly now to the next session because our time is far gone. And we are going back to the first session, the one which we were to start with because of network. So without further delay, let's welcome Mrs. Mojisola Session Ayino for mastering the act of content creation. Welcome back. Hello, Ma. You can hear me. We are ready to have the presentation for us. Okay, so while we are waiting for our facilitator to unmute her mic, as I mentioned earlier,
hello, okay, can you hear me now?
of National Young Adult. Oh,
can
yes,
you hear me now?
I can hear you, Ma. It's a little low.
Okay, just give me a
Yes,
minute.
Ma, but the voice is a little low.
We are
Can you
good.
hear me
We are
now?
good. We can hear you. You are good.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, our warm moderator, very articulate. Is it possible for you to please help me project the slides now, please? Can you help me project the slides, please?
Just a moment, please.
Okay. Thank you, everyone, for sticking with us. The slides will be projected very, very soon. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to go right to it. Should I go ahead, moderator?
Yes, Ma, please carry on, Ma.
Okay, so we're going to look at the art of content creation, mastering the art of content creation. I know that a lot of people are here who have social media accounts. And when I mean social media accounts, I'm talking about LinkedIn, TikTok, I'm talking about YouTube, I'm talking about Twitter, I'm talking about Instagram. And if you don't have it yet, if you don't have these accounts and you are in this place, I want to urge you to quickly go and open your account, because I have one good news for you before I quickly start flipping the slides. The good news is that I woke up this morning and I found out that my Instagram page has been monetized. And that is one of the reasons why I'm really excited to share with you some of the reasons why that particular account is now monetized. And because my account is monetized, I'm also going to teach you how you can monetize your account. I'm going to teach you how you can grow through content creation, through tenacity, through content writing. So let's move to the next slide. Yes, I have the table of content here, introduction, the overview and everything. Know your audience, develop a content strategy, create a calendar, craft a content, SEO, promote your content, and then I have the conclusion. So introduction. In this digital age, I always tell people that the new age of marketing is digital. If you are going to sell anything at this moment, if you don't use the social media space or the digital space, you are losing out completely. While it's good to sell physically, it's also mighty profitable to sell online. We sold something to you online. And because we sold something to you online, we sold you content, we sold you value. That's why a lot of you are here this evening. You may believe it, you may not believe it, but let me tell you, that is the basis. That's the basis of content creation. So in this digital age, content is king. It is the cornerstone of effective online communication. There's no way you can communicate with me if your content is not sound. Some days ago, some weeks ago, last month, people kept on talking about this song and dancing it. Even churches somehow got adjusted to go, 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 go. There was a motive behind that particular content. There's a motive behind that particular content creation. At the end of the day, the target was met and the target was surpassed. We're going to get there. So creating compelling, engaging content that resonates with your audience is a skill that requires practice and mastery. You cannot just come from the wind and say that I want to be a content creator because you have a phone, you have one iPhone 6S Plus, and you have a ring light, and you have one corner in the church. You think you want to be a content creator? No. If you want to stand out, there are basic strategies. Just like my colleague said earlier, if you are going to do a design, you must have an affinity for knowing what is called color psychology. It's the same with content creation. Everything must be in place. Let's go to the next slide, please. Please, if I'm making sense, I need you to begin to put some things in that chat box just to encourage me as I go on so that I don't miss my step. Now, listen, I want to tell you something so that you need to understand and also put it down. Knowing your audience better than they know themselves is part of content creation. If you are going to create a content, you must decide, who am I creating this content for? Who is this content reaching out to? Who am I speaking to? What's this content for? And that's where we have identify your target audience. Understand their demographic. Do they stay in Ajegunle or they stay in Banana? You know, if you're going to create content for Banana, your steez must be up. You must be demure. Everything must be on point. If you're going to Ajegunle, it's a different thing. If you are going to Mushin, it's a different kind of content. You need to look at it. Are they working class people? Are they students? Are they working class? All these things will be put in perspective if you're doing your content creation. And then one thing that is so important when I'm doing content creation is I look at it, what is their pain point? What do they need? Let me tell you, gone are the days where people will go online and say, yeah, please come and buy my bread. No, I will not tell you to come and buy my bread. I will give you the reason why you should buy the bread. I will tell you that the bread is soft and fluffy. I will tell you that when you open the bread and you press it like this and you put takara inside, it gives you not only carbohydrate, it gives you correct fats and oil. It gives you protein. Brethren, that is content creation. That is content creation. You are knowing the pain points of your people. You are knowing the passion points of your people. What are their interests? When are they online? What do they like? So tailor your content. Create the content that addresses the needs and desires of these people. For instance, I'm opening a boutique. And I've announced it online. I'm opening a boutique. What you should do if you are here as a designer is to send me an inbox, send me a message in my DM and say, oh, Ma, I think that your logo, can I recreate your logo for free? Or can I do this thing for free? Can I do, you are appealing, you are giving that particular person, that particular vendor, you are giving them a reason why they should relate with you based on the thing that you have to offer them, based on the value that you have to. That's just content creation. What are their interests? You need to identify your targets and then tailor your content in such a way that you are addressing needs and desires. You must know their pain points. What do people like? What do people like now? There's a popular phrase that people are using, and I've used it now. Demure, mindful, cutesy. If you look at me this evening, I'm looking cutesy. That is part of content creation. You need to be able to understand what is their pain point, what is their passion point. Okay, for example, most small, medium enterprise always look for people to help them with their ads or how to grow their social media pages. You open an Instagram page or open a TikTok page and begin to say, the people you are tailored to, who you want to sell to, and you want to create a content, okay, to get that target audience. So what you need to do, because these people are looking for ads, you say, I can help you make sales, 1 million naira sales in 3 months by targeting your audience to targeting your sales to particular audience. That is just an area. So content creation is so rich and so beautiful and so easy to do. You just need to follow basic principles to be able to do it. Then you can streamline your content to meet those needs and you'll be shocked at the response. Next slide. Thank you so much. Develop a content strategy. Yes, thank you. So for you to be able to understand the art of content creation, you must develop a content strategy. You'll be asking me, how can I develop a content strategy? The best content is the content that will resonate with your audience. Even though we are Christians and sometimes, there are things that we cannot take from the outside and bring to the church. And one of them, even though the meaning is not so bad, one of them is that go dance and the go song, but because that song somehow is so appealing, the dance is so tempting. I know how to do that dance. Let me not lie to you. But that is what the guy was able to do. He was able to do something that became viral, and you can also do it. So how do? You develop a content strategy. You set your goals. What do you want to achieve with your content? Firstly, for me, on my Instagram page, when I started that page, I set out to reach small business owners. And I was doing it. I was creating content. I was giving them principles. I was giving them tips. I was giving them strategies. I was giving them Instagram hacks. And I began to get customers. I was tailoring my content to meet their pain point. Okay? So you must determine what you want to achieve. Do you want to increase brand awareness? Okay? Do you want to increase brand awareness? For Gongo, for instance, okay? He's already known. So it's not as if he wants to increase brand awareness. Do you want to generate leads? Yes, he may want to generate leads, okay, tailored towards his YouTube because it's already monetized, his TikTok is monetized, his Facebook is monetized. Guys, you don't want to know how much money content creators make. I've started, and they just told me today that I should activate my PayPal account so that they will be paying me. They have also asked me that I should get my, can you hear me? Am I still here? If you can hear me, please put it on the chat box.
Yes, we can hear you, Ma.
Okay, thank you so much. So Your content can also be that, okay, I'm doing this content so that I can drive sales. Okay, so that I can drive sales. So having this in mind puts you on a better space to understand the kind of content to create. Please, next slide. To create content is not just, oh, like I said earlier, take my phone, I call somebody, it takes time and it takes planning, it takes strategy. One of the things that you need to do is to create a content calendar. Okay, sometimes I find some things a little tedious, but I'll tell you, only the people that work hard will be successful. You work hard and you work smart, you'll be successful. Content creation is very sweet. Writing, copywriting is also very sweet. So what you need to do when you want to create a content calendar, there's a very cheap way that you can do it. You can just put it on your search bar, okay? And I think some people are typing in the comment section. I can't really see it in the chat box. What you need to do, with such things, if it's too difficult for you to create a Google document or no, just type in your search bar and say that you want templates that are already done. Yes, there are templates for content calendar. So and they are free, downloadable. All you need to do is now begin to type your content, the things that you want to do, to create that content. So it's easy. You don't need to stress yourself. Some of us can be really, really fussy about articulating things, putting things down, arranging things according to dates and all that. But if you want to be a great content creator, get a content calendar ready. You plan your content topics. What format am I using? Reels? Am I publishing schedule? You make it easy. Am I using a carousel? And it makes it easier. Decide on the content type and style. What kind of content do I want to create today? For instance, would Reels work well, or probably carousel? What can I do? Which one will appeal to the kind of audience that I have? Okay, when would you like to post this content? Are you going to post it at night when you have traffic because people are just coming back from work? Or you want to post it in the early hours of the morning? You must have it in mind that most times, particularly people that are just growing in this content creation platform, if you post a content and you want it to go viral, please latch on a trend. If you latch on a trend, it becomes easier for your video or for whatever content you are bringing out to go viral. It's very easy, guys. It's easy. So do you want to sponsor a post, or you just allow it to work for you organically if you do a content? If another way to grow your content, to make it really, really beautiful, is you can collaborate with somebody who already has footing in the media space. So these things are very easy. Don't forget to be typing on the chat box if whatever I'm saying is making sense. If it's not making sense, please also type on the chat box. So crafting compelling content. Next slide. Next slide. Yeah. So you must use strong headlines. Okay, and when I'm talking about content, now I'm not just talking about video content. I'm talking about, content that you just post. It can be via writing. It can be, different methods. So you must grab attention with catchy and informative headlines. Let me tell you something that is very important. You must always create content that is so good that people begin to share it. Go and check your Instagram page. Some of you have 2 likes or 3 likes. You don't even care about it. You don't care about the basics. You are not concerned about the audience that I'm meeting at this time. There's no way you can have 2 likes. So something is fundamentally wrong. If you have 100 followers, there's no way you will have 2 likes. So it's either you are posting at the wrong time, or you are creating content for the wrong people, or you are posting the wrong type of content for the right people, or you are posting at the wrong time. Or you're using wrong headlines. So you must use strong headlines, grab attention with informative headlines. For instance, some of the things I put on my Instagram page and Facebook, I use things like best tips to trend in 2024. If you see things like that, you want to, let me check this content. Or for instance, now by Monday, I plan that I'm going to say how I got monetized. And then I will share the secrets with them. Let me ask you a question. Will people look at that content, or they would ignore it? Of course they will look at it, because I've put a strong catchy headline. Then you write clear and concise copy. Make them understand what you're talking about. Make them understand what they're talking about. Avoid jargon and use simple language, things that people can understand. Okay, yeah. Okay, so when you are doing content creation, okay, it's very important that you also use visuals. Let people see pictures. People resonate well with pictures. They want to understand what you mean. What you mean when you say somebody is scaling a fence. They want to see images that reflect the things that you're talking about. They want to see a video. So I usually tell those people that are used to doing a lot of carousels that don't have visuals, I say, please show pictures, do videos, let people see that you know what you're talking about. Interpret the thoughts in your head and put them into visuals. Let people understand that you are trying to let them know that this is what the message you are trying to pass. So enhance your content with images, with videos, with infographics, and whatever, anything that will make your content pop. Next slide, please. Please let me know if I'm going too fast. Let me know if I'm going too fast. Let me know if I'm going too fast. Let me know. Now, for you to be a content creator, okay, the only way to know if you are doing good, if you are doing great work, is to love what you do. I love what I do. And each time, because I like to create content, when I see things happening around, my social media pages, I'm always very, very excited because I know that I've put in a lot of work. And that was why this particular study, this particular training was put out here so that we can mentor some of you and teach you how to create content. Enough of content that is not engaging, content that is not participatory, content that is not interactive. Some of you are so skilled here, but you are just missing on the tiny, 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 tiny things that can shoot you up, tiny, tiny things that can make your content resonate with your audience. Now, listen to me. Consistency is key if you're creating content. Consistency is key. You must show up every day. Every day, you must show up. So, well, talking about optimizing for search engine. Okay, when I opened my page, Gisela Brand Boss, one of the things that I did, is I tried to look at words that people search. So usually when people are looking for things, that search engine optimization is what I'm talking. I'll just talk about it in brief because we're still going to talk about it in other series. So when you are, for instance, you are creating your Instagram bio or your Facebook bio or your LinkedIn bio or whatever, you must put the perspective of search engine optimization. Okay, I'm going to be wrapping up some search engine optimization. Use keywords that will make you searchable. For instance, in mine, I put brand boss, I put business tips, I put other words that will encourage people. Like when you search, say you're looking for business owners, you will see my name. If you're looking for brand, you will see my name. So that is how it is. Very easy. I'll be wrapping up very soon. It's easy to post content with a lot of content online, but you must have it at the back of your mind. Will my content go viral? By creating truly impactful content requires careful thought, planning, and creative execution. I said the viral go was meticulously crafted with this in mind. The dance, everything. Do you like it? When you listen to that, did you like it? So I said here, to create content and you want your content to go viral, what are the things you do? You promote your content or you leave it? So I said, okay, to promote your content, the best way to do it is share on social media, leverage on platforms like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. And with TikTok, please just do a video. Just do a video and then it will go viral. I'm telling you the truth. Do a video, probably go to settings and put some things in place. We'll talk about that much later. And your videos will go viral. Then you can do email marketing. We'll talk about that. Reach your subscribers with targeted content. Then engage with your audience. Guys, do not post content and leave. Don't post content and leave. Whether it's Facebook, that's why you see us in NYAYA Global. Whatever we do, when we post, we encourage you people to engage people. If you see somebody's comment, like that comment. When you like a comment, the person checks your account, but you guys don't know that. So as a content creator, you must be concerned about what others are posting, what they are doing, what they are writing, engage other people's posts and help you. Respond to questions and comments and all that. Like, I know you are going to have questions, just put them down. The moderator is going to handle them and we talk about them. So as a charge this evening, I want you to know that you should be yourself when you are creating content. Everyone else is already taken. There's nobody like you. In this era of creating content, you are special. So be yourself. You don't need to copy anybody. Sit down, plan a strategy. What do I want to do? What brand name do I want to have? How do I want to showcase myself to the world? Do I want to be called a particular name? What brand name do I want to have? How do I want to project myself to the public? How do I want to create content? At what time of the day do I want to create content? Do I want to monetize this content? Or do I want to use the content as a tool to improve or impact on people? These are the things you should look at. As we move further, like I said, we're going to be treating more and more topics. Now, listen, content creation is an art form that requires a combination of creativity, strategy, and technical skills. They all work pari passu. You cannot say you have strategy and you don't have technical skills, or you have strategy and you're not creative. You have to be creative for your content to go viral. That's just the truth. Consequently, to start your journey, it is required that you are creative and that you are attentive and hardworking. Thank you very much. If you want to contact me on social media, I am Gisola Brand Boss on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter, on LinkedIn. Thank you. And as we move on in the series, you'll be sure to learn more from me about content creation and content writing. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. So I welcome your questions and feedback.
Thank you very much, Ma, for that wonderful presentation. It was such very mindful, very detailed, and I'm sure we have so much to take away from that session. All right, so it's important that while we go into the question and answer session, if you are not following us on YouTube, please click on the link on the page so that you are able to stay connected, as our facilitators might have mentioned, and probably you've missed it. It's important to note that this is the first, but definitely not the last. So we want to keep you subscribed. We want to keep you tuned to the channel for more updates. So if you are here, YouTube there and you've not subscribed, please, time for question and answers. And for this particular session, we are going to be combining the first session and the second section. So if you have questions for any of the two facilitators that have spoken to us today, please drop them in the chat box here on Zoom. Also, if you have them on YouTube, please drop them in the chat box on YouTube. And if you also want to send a message to me on WhatsApp, please as well drop your questions so that we can attend to every one of them right away. Okay, so I have a question for our first facilitator, Mr. Kindo Emmanuel. So the question says, can we have such amazing designs using our Android phones? If yes, how can we achieve it? That is for Mr. Emmanuel. Please, if you are here, you have a question from the audience. So who are asking that can they achieve those very mindful and very demure designs that they saw on your Pinterest on their Android phone? And if yes, how can they do that? So Mr. Emmanuel, over to you, sir, if you can hear me. So please go ahead. We will drop your question in the search channel so that we can take note of it. Please go ahead to drop your questions. Checking through for our questions. Okay, so I'm trying to connect back with, okay, we're trying to connect back with our facilitator so that he can have us the answers. If you asked your question earlier, can you re-ask again? Because I think Zoom has made some of it to go away. So kindly be free to ask your question. Okay. Over to you, Mr. Emmanuel. Mr. Emmanuel, we can hear you. We heard you some seconds ago.
All right. Okay.
While waiting
Thank
for our
you.
questions to be answered, please head over to YouTube and subscribe. Can you hear you, sir?
Okay. 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 So, as for the question that was asked, can we make these amazing designs on our Android phone? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. So, yes, you can, definitely you can. I mean, a lot of mobile apps are available. I mean, people make use of Canva. That's the number one app that you can use on your phone, and even it has an app version and a desktop a website version as well. You can, but I'm actually very audible, please.
I can hear you now, sir.
All right, good. Thank you. So we can also make use of Pixel Lab on our phone. I mean, I do make use of Pixel Lab. In fact, you can check up some of my tutorials on YouTube as regards how you can go about that. I have a basic tutorial for how to make use of Pixel Lab. That's, you can just search Tomtech graphics on YouTube. Tomtech graphics on YouTube, and there are also other wonderful tutorials you can see out there. Smartphone graphics exist, and it's just about your disposal of knowledge. You can do awesome things even with your phone, even more than some desktop designers. I kid you not. So that goes for the question. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Okay, so I think that answers the second question I also have here, which says which app is best suitable for pixel designs. So you mentioned that you can use Pixel Lab and also, use Canva, and those are mobile applications that you can say that you can try out. And like he said mobile apps can even be better than some desktop designers. So I hold that very clearly, right? So it's important that you don't see wherever you are as a limitation. So if there's any other question for the first facilitator, please let's have it. Okay, so for our second facilitator, we have a question. It says the first one I have here says, I have more than 5K followers on Facebook. I usually post Christian content and motivational posts. Please, I need your advice on which area I should focus on as I go into content creation. That's the first one. Let me ask the second one also, Ma, so you can answer both of them. Okay, I have three questions. So that's the first. The second one says, how can I unleash a trend? While the third one is, how do I collaborate with someone in the field? How do I collaborate with someone in the field? So please, we have those three questions. Please help us answer the question. Over to you.
Thank you very much. I will try and remember all, but I think I remember the first one. You said you have 5K followers on Facebook.
Yeah.
And the question that comes to mind for me is, are those 5K followers bought or they are organic? Because if your 5K followers are organic, another question I will ask you is, did you start that page by investing in Christian content, or you started the page or you bought the page and started Christian content on it. If you are going to do that, maybe you are, transiting or changing from one particular content area to another content area, you need a lot of work. Now, let me tell you, this is the rage or the age of Christian content. I mean, everything is going viral on social media. And what you need to do if you want to grow on Facebook is quickly latch on some of these trends. If you go to I think particularly on Instagram, you see most of these Christian trends. Latch on them, use trending sounds, imitate what they are doing, and create your own content. Then you need to ask yourself, remember when I was talking about know your target audience? Who are the kind of people that are on your Facebook page? Are they old people, or they are youths like you? Are they young? Are they vibrant? Will they understand if you come and rap and you dance and you shake your body and you do it, turn it to a content? Will they understand it? So when you're doing that kind of content, or you have that kind of page, think, who are the people on that page? The kind of content I'm doing, check the content that you have done for a while. Which one of those content got you enough engagement? If you see a content of all the posts that you have done, if you see that content gave you a lot of engagement, please continue doing that same content. Do more of it. And be very wary of trying new things. If you are trying new things, ensure that there are things that are viral. Now, if you are going to, say for instance, jump on a viral trend on social media, okay, that is, of course, of Christian content, ensure that it has about 20,000 downloads. That is your cue to know that if you post it, it will still go viral. That's what I've been doing because I have a lot of pages and it works for me. So what's the second question, please? I hope I've answered the first. Second question. Oh my God.
The second question, you are audible, ma. So the person is asking that how can he start a trend?
Oh, I think I've answered that somehow. Okay. If you want to start a trend, it's very easy. Look at the pain points and the passion points of people. Pain points means, what do people want? What do they need? Passion point is, what do people like? Okay? Passion point is what they like. So put those two things together, sit down and think, I want to create a viral trend. You see all the viral trends that we are all running after, we are all trying to replicate and all that. Somebody thought of it. So you yourself can actually create a trend. Just pick something here, pick an idea here, juggle it together, put your own tweets. Jotam is laughing. And then before you know it, you create your own trend. See, let me tell you how a post goes viral. Start from your Jerusalem. Let me give you a trick for my content creators that are online, my social media enthusiasts. When you do a post on social media, particularly Instagram, please download the post, save the post, share to your stories, okay? Use another account to download, okay? Comment 3 times on that post. Now, what you are telling the algorithm at that time is that this post is good, and people are commenting. Meanwhile, you are the one that is doing it. The algorithm doesn't really know you. It just follows, metrics and all that, follows what is happening, and then activates its own strategy at the time. So you can go viral if you know all these little things. And please engage other people's posts. When you engage people's posts, those people will also come and engage your post, and that's how you grow. Thank you. The third one.
Okay, the person says, how can we collaborate with someone in that field?
Okay, you want to collaborate. Do they know you? If I don't know you and you collaborate with me, I will report your page. So what should happen? I've said it. A content creator should be friendly and not snobbish. Okay? You should start commenting on people's pages, start writing nice things on their pages, go to their DM once in a while. I like your content. Things like that. Make yourself be in their face. And then be bold and say, please, I would like to collaborate with you on this post. You'll be lucky. And I'm open to collaborations. If I see that your page is good, if you want to collaborate with me, please don't hesitate, because we're here to grow together. Thank you. I hope this has answered your question.
Yes, thank you very much, ma. I will definitely jump on the collaboration opportunity. Okay, so we have more questions from YouTube. So somebody is asking, we have what someone is asking, what is email marketing? As you mentioned it during your session. Someone is also asking, what is the average budget for sponsored media ads? What is an average budget for sponsored media ads? May you kindly answer those two before we go to the last two, and then move on to the next session.
Okay, like this morning now, what happened was I wanted to sponsor, I wanted to boost one of my pages. Now, boosting pages is different from actually doing proper ads. So I always advise people, go to Facebook if you want to drive sales, okay, to a particular audience. What you do on Instagram, when you can boost, what boost we do is just create brand awareness for you. It will bring people to your page. They see your profile. That's all. It would probably generate talkability. It will not generate sales for you. Those things when you see boost posts. But actual ads are done on Facebook, where you target particular people, target particular audience, and you put particular metrics in place to favor you. So like today, when I tried to sponsor a post on Instagram, I wanted to boost the post. It was 8,000 naira per day. So, and then they also advise, if you do 8,000 naira per day, they advise that you do like 8,000 naira per day for a week. So you're going to be spending about 40K per week. And please, this is not too much for you to be popular. It's not too much. It's not too much. So now somebody asked that, what is email marketing? Email marketing is a form of direct marketing that involves sending emails to a list of potential or current customers. Okay, for instance, now we have the database of all of you that are registered. We can create an email marketing campaign and send you emails to tell you that, okay, we're going to have the next series sometime in September or sometime in November. Okay, so it's a powerful tool for businesses to build relationships, to promote their products or services and drive sales. And I will tell you, very few people use email marketing in Nigeria. The whites use it a lot and it pays off. I have actually collaborated with a lot of people via email marketing. I have sealed a lot of business deals via email marketing. I have done a lot of things via newsletters. So it is very important that you take email marketing serious. I will tell you one other thing again. For email marketing, we have components. There should be, and you should have an email list. There's database of email addresses. You should have email content. What's the content of that email? Okay. And then you should have email campaigns. I mean, we'll talk about all that later. Don't let me go into it. It's actually deep and big. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ma. Because of our
Yes, sir.
time, we will not be able to attend to other questions. But please follow us on social media. Definitely some of these questions will be addressed with the help of designs, and then also we would make sure that all the questions you get answers to them. So make sure that you're following us on all our social media channels, especially on Instagram and on YouTube, so that you would not miss out on the answers to your question. And if you stay tuned to the end of this training, definitely one of the facilitator would address what you have to ask. And you can ask your question here on Zoom so that you can even get a reply here if you're unable to address that. Okay, so we are having our next facilitator right away. It's back to back, trying to make sure that we are maximizing our time. We're very mindful of the time and we don't want to keep you long for too much. So we are having the session on ABC of live streaming. ABC of live streaming. I mean, this I'm doing myself is live streaming in ABC, right? So this is like the most basic form of live streaming, but still live streaming because we are in space and I'm in mine and we can communicate. But how do you do it, better? How do you, do it for your church? But speaking about that will not be me, but I'm going to be having Mr. Leke Olawale Welcome, sir.
Good evening, everyone. I trust you cannot hear me. Good evening, sirs. Good evening, ma.
Good evening, sir.
I want to believe that we all have been enjoying ourselves thus far, and I also want to believe that this session of mine, I want to see the questions, the contributions. I want to see the chat, comment sections buzzing, and then I'm sure that by the time we are done, we will all be better for it. One of the things that will be taken away from this webinar is the fact that we are all learning new things. We are learning new things. For those of us who have been in the space for a while, you probably be doing more like a refresher for yourselves, and for the new ones also. I trust God that you would go to bed with one thing or the other. And thankfully, tomorrow is Sunday and it's Thanksgiving Sunday, and I'm sure you would have one or two things to practice out in your various churches. All right, so let me share my slides. Then also, please permit me, I might be taking a different direction because this is more of a technical thing. So you might be seeing less of slides and more of talking. I'm sure that you have your pens. I'm trying to share my screen. All right. I'm sure you can all see my screens now. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, ma. All right, I'll be talking towards about the ABC of live streaming. You know, ABC, as we were taught in primary school, the simplest form, as thinking that everybody here, like I said earlier, more like refresher for some of us, and then some of us are probably just diving into this for the very first time. So the ABC of live streaming, a guide to streaming service and reaching a wider audience. Now, let me put this out there that when it comes to live streaming, the processes are the same, but it's just our approaches that is what that is different. It's still the same processes, but our approaches. So you might probably approach it from one angle and you get the result that you want. Another person also approaches from another angle and gets the result that he or she wants. All right, so what is live streaming? I said live streaming or however you want to call it is the streaming of video or audio in real time or near real time. So which is often referred to simply as streaming. Now, the real-time nature of live streaming differentiates from other forms of streaming media, such as VOD, video on demands, vlogs, YouTube videos. And one thing about live streaming is that it's done solely on the internet. So whatever setup you have, whatever type of service, whatever thing you're doing, as long as internet is not involved, then you are not streaming anything. And now for you to say that you have streamed or you have successfully live streamed an event or a function or whatever, there must have been a process of encoding and decoding, which you probably will call uploading and downloading. So there is no live streaming without a point where there is uploading and another point where there is downloading. So when you live stream, 1 minute, please. Okay. When you live stream, you expand the reach of your church beyond the physical boundaries. I mean, at some point in RCCG, they had to acknowledge online church because churches were having more members online, especially during the lockdown. So is you expanding the reach of your church beyond your physical boundaries. In your auditorium, you might just have maybe you run 2 or 3 services, you might just have maybe on the average of say 500 people. But by the time you take your service, your programs beyond the church walls, you are expanding your followers, you are expanding those who knows about your church. I mean, take for instance, the last convention. If you count the numbers of people both in old auditorium and viewing centers, add everybody together, it's not up to what we have online, those who were watching online. So that means with live streaming, we have been able to bring the church to their space. It enables members to stay connected, especially those who are sick, elderly, or who cannot travel for one reason or the other. For instance, I have a member in my church who for like I think 20 or 25 days in a month, he's not in church. And so all he does is that he connects to the service and watch and do whatever he has to do with us. It also provides an opportunity for outreaches and evangelism. So now the ABC. The A in the ABC, which is your audience, the basics, and the content. Now, so let's look at the audience. What type of congregation are you catering for? What type of audience are you looking for? Who are you streaming for? I once had a client, sort of what the ministry does is deliverance service. And their deliverance service is better. You would see they would tie down people in chains and cuff, saying that, and they said they were going to start doing live streaming. And I was telling them that the little I know about the AI of YouTube, they will yank you off. They said, now we'll go. They didn't do more than maybe like 3 months before they went off, because their audience are not online. Nobody would sit and watch human beings being tied down in chains, in this, all in the name of deliverance. Who are you tailoring your contents for? Are you meeting their needs? So those are the questions you should ask as choosing who your audience are. How are you going to engage your audience in the course of your live stream? Is it through chat? Is it through question and answer? Is it through real-time interactions? Are you building a community online? Now, where are your audience? Are they on Zoom? Are they on Facebook? Are they on YouTube? Are they on Instagram? I was at an event today and I was asking teenagers, and I was asking them, so where are you guys broadcasting your program? I was expected to say it's on YouTube. They said to me that it's on Instagram. And I'm like, hello, Instagram. But by the time I checked their page, I realized that they had more people on their Instagram than they had on Facebook. Even their Facebook said they can't even stream on it because they've not met the threshold. So you need to know where your audience are. So if you find yourself in a church where all your members are on Facebook, you probably will use your YouTube for, say, your video account, because they are not going there. They are on Facebook. So you know where they are. There was a time where in my church where everybody was on Zoom and we could hold meetings. You would see 50 people, you would see 60 people on the call. But now there's no more Zoom. And it's like, come on, every time you're sending them, come on, join us on Facebook, join us on YouTube. They are not coming, but we realized that back then they enjoyed Zoom more. So you need to know where your audiences are, and then you go after them by virtue of your content. Now, live streaming has gone beyond just putting out content. Your audience want to feel you real time. Now, it has gone beyond those days where you just put things there. As a matter of fact, there are some churches now that has a team that all through the service, what they do is to attend to those who are chatting or commenting or in the chat box or asking one questions. That is all they do. So they sit on the comment sections and they respond to people. We've gone beyond the ages where you just put things out there, nobody's looking at it. So you need to know where your audience are. What are the needs of your audience? How do you tailor those needs for your audience? I hope I'm not too fast, or can I get responses so I know I'm not
You
so
are going on well, sir.
Thank you,
drop
ma.
comments on the chat.
Okay, thank you, ma. All right. Now, the second part, the B part there is the basics. Your audio, your video, your device, capture devices, your encoders, and your internet. Then I'll come back to this. Let me quickly touch on the C, and then we'll come back to B. Now, your content. what are you putting out? How have you structured your service for online audience? Are you just, you just slam the thing there, you go and take, chop and go? Are you integrating multimedias, lower third, slides? For instance, your pastor says John 3:16. Are your online member now, let me use the word online member, are they able to see that scriptures that your pastor or the person who is ministering has called? So how do you bring all those things together? Integrating multimedias into your content. Consistency. You have done a service, you have broadcasted a service today, and you have done all the shout. You have said our service is 6 p.m. Daily or 6 p.m. on Tuesday. People want to come to that place, want to get your content at that 6 p.m. And that's why you will see that sometimes when you schedule a live stream service, and you see people waiting because you are told them that you are starting at this time. You see people waiting because they know that they are coming there to get something. Now, as regarding your content, catchy SEO titles and descriptions. Our previous speaker spoke about SEO, search engine optimization, trends. Now, August was Evans convention title. Go on internet now and just search Adeboye. You can be sure of what tons of content that would come up. So when you are titling your broadcast, your services, whether it's midweek, there is nothing wrong in looking for those catchy SEO titles. So tomorrow night is Thanksgiving service. What stops you from putting Thanksgiving service, hashtag Thanksgiving service, hashtag Adeboye, hashtag RCCG, hashtag convention? Don't go out of the box of Christianity. Look for those tags, Holy Spirit. You can even put tithes, hashtag tithes, and put it there. Because somebody will go who probably is not your church member and will just just type something and say tithes. And then because your title of your content has hashtag tithes, the AI of YouTube or Facebook, the algorithm will pull it up. Content you can schedule your streaming. And then consistent branding. If you have a church logo, are you going to put it on the left side? Let it be on the left side. Is it going to be on the right? Let it be on the right. Don't put it on the left this Sunday and on Tuesday you are putting it on the right or you're sending it to the bottom. No. Stay with your brand. Be consistent with it. So that when people see your video, they can tell, this video is from so church. Just like we have designs. If you, as a graphic designer or somebody who is involved in design, if you see the design of your colleagues, you can tell this is the person that did this design because of the consistency over time. So you keep your logo, whether you're putting it on the right, you're putting it on the left, anywhere you want to put it, but be consistent with it. Now, the cross of the matter, let me come back to the basics. I'm sure every one of us understand that for you to have live stream, there should be audio, there should be video, the capture device, your encoders, your streaming platform, and your internet. The big elephant in the room for me is your internet. And you cannot do anything without, just like Jesus said, without me, you cannot do anything. Without internet, you cannot do anything. And so that's why you have to make sure that your internet is up and running before you can broadcast anything on the internet. Now, I advise people that when you are getting your internet as regarding streaming, prioritize upload. So, and unfortunately or fortunately, as the case may be, in this part of the world, Nigeria, most of all these routers and modems that you buy, 5G this, 5G this, most of them prioritize downloading. So sometimes you need to probably speak to them and tell them that this is what I want. And I'm sure you must have had terms of 2 megabytes up and down. The up is the upload, the down is the download. So when you're doing live streaming, your internet upload is the key for, your broadcast. So even if you buy an internet device and you do your speed test and it's giving you so many, prioritize your what's it called? Prioritize your upload, because that is where the big elephant in the room is. Without a good internet, you cannot do anything. Now to your audio. I'm sure most of us must have joined the live stream service where you are struggling to, all you hear is just noise. I tell people that I advise them that get a sound engineer, and if you cannot get a sound engineer, know the basics of audio. Know when the audio is noisy, know when it's low, understand those basics, because people can pass on your video, but your audio, you can make a stream and you are having like 480p, or if you cannot do 720p, people will stay on that video, on that stream, once they can hear your audio as clear as possible. They can still pardon you for a bad video, but with a good audio, you can always, run with it. And so sometimes I wonder, I see people when they will push, they will say, they want to stream, and they will push their upload up to like 1 meg, 1,000 kilobytes, whereas their internet cannot even push it. And I'm asking myself, why would you? Because you want me to see how beautiful, how fine your altar is or your church is, and all you have ended doing is that you are frustrated your audience because the video kept on buffering and buffering and buffering and buffering. So instead of doing that, why don't you drop your bit rate? And mind you, the higher your bit rate, the clearer your output is. So if you have, let's say you have a bit rate of like 2 meg, 2,000 kilobytes, the output of that would not be the same as when you have a bit rate of 960 or 400. So the higher your bit rate, the clearer it becomes. But in a situation whereby your internet is, going off and on, I always advise that that you reduce your bit rate, and then at least people can pardon you for a video that is not so clear, as long as the audio is good and clear. Now, I also want to mention quickly, I think I've overshot my time. Moderator, sir. Hello, are we still together?
Yes, I'm enjoying it, please, and I'm sure others are as well. The moderator will come online soon.
Okay, so one of the things that I also advise churches or people that want to stream for churches is, because of the type of internet that we have in Nigeria, or as it were, and the cost of having to get some dedicated speed and as download or upload speed, as it were, I advise people that when you're streaming, for instance, you've discovered that your audience are on Facebook, they are on YouTube, they are probably on where again? Maybe Instagram. I advise them that don't use the same internet to send all your streams. So like on your encoders, okay, let me show you what, let me stop the screen share so I can see some faces. Okay, so what I'm holding here, I guess you can see me. Let me spotlight. Now, what I'm holding here is a typical, pardon me. Okay, what I'm holding here is a typical hardware encoder. So with this encoder, all I need to just do is send in my video input to it, connect it to the internet. I just put it somewhere and it's broadcasting for me. But I mean, most of these encoders don't come cheap. So I'd advise that you use the applications that you have outside, like vMix, OBS, and mind you, those applications gives you some room, some flexibility to do some things. So I advise that you use like OBS, vMix, Wirecast, which other one? Yeah, Pro Presenter. Yeah, there are some churches that stream their services with Pro Presenter, OBS, vMix, and anyone that comes your way. But don't try as much as possible not to use one same internet to stream onto all those platforms. I advise that you use multi-streams like Casters, Restream, because those Casters, Restreams, they have something that we'll call load balancing. I mean, if you've done, so what those load balancer does is that they help spread, so the weight is not on that your single internet. So what that your single internet does is just sends a single stream to the multi-stream platforms, and then those multi-stream platforms now helps you to spread it out than just using one same internet and you are and that and YouTube is drawing like 900 kbps. Facebook is drawing like another 900 kbps on the same internet. But when you use those multi-streams platforms, like I said, Caster, Restream, Restream.io and the likes, what they do is that they take your single stream and they help you by the reason of their load balancer to spread it out on those platforms. So the tendencies that you have late buffering on those streams are very low. So what else am I? Yes, again, emphasizing on that audio, I also advise that, like I said, have basic knowledge about audio. If you cannot afford, if your church or your organization cannot get a sound engineer, what you need to do is probably you look on your mixer. I don't know what type of mixer that you have. Let's take the analog, for instance, and you can get one auxiliary channel. Just use that for the streaming and arrange your audio, your input on the line of importance so that you don't have noise. You can, or at least, bad as it bad, get a small mixer, maybe like a 2-channel mixer for yourself. So whatever audio they are sending from the main mixer, you can always control it and reduce it so that it won't just be making noise, and then nobody's watching whatever you're doing, but you are sweating. You thought you are encoding, whereas you are sweating. There's nobody online to watch whatever you are watching. So on the final note, I think I've short my time. So my final piece is that finally, your online church is an extension of your physical church. So you must be intentional about what you put out. So it is the way it is what you put out there that people will see about your physical church. So if you and your camera guys are always good at taking empty chairs, and they will think that you don't have anybody in your church. If you put out rough audio, they will think that that's how bad your audio is. So your online church is an extension of your physical church. You must be intentional about what you put out. I've worked for a ministry. Don't let me mention their name. At the get-go, the pastor said at so point in time, when I begin to go in these directions, take out my audio. I don't know why, but that was it. So he had somebody who will always signal and say, this audio must not go out. I was watching a live stream last Friday, and when the pastor went in one direction, they took out his audio. We've had instances at Holy Ghost service where they would tell us that know this part that has gone out, you must find the wood, and then we just turn on DVR on your YouTube so they cannot play back. So if you miss that thing, you cannot go back and say, okay, Daddy Gio said this, somebody said this, let's because immediately we turned on DVR on the stream, so you cannot hear that again, because it could have been something else. So your online church and the session of your physical church, you must be intentional about what you put out. Also, live streaming growth is relative. Start from where you are. Be consistent, and the desired growth will happen. I'm sure if you watch by tomorrow now, when they are doing the Thanksgiving service at the HQ, you will see big cameras, long lens. You will see different things. You will see lights, you will see screens, you will see orishi. Permit me to say that. And then you have not grown to that level. Start with what you are, where you are, and then grow. Be consistent. You can stream, you can go live with your phone. You can go live with your phone. You can go, start where you are and be consistent with it. With these few points of mine, I hope I have been able to tell you the ABC of live streaming. There's still DEF, but let's stop at ABC for now. I hope with these few points of mine, I have been able to convince and not to confuse you. Thank you, moderator, and thank you for everyone who is on the call. Let me go to the chat box and see if there are questions that needs to be answered. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Very, very wonderful presentation. We have a question from YouTube. So the question is, how can I drop my bit rate? How can I drop my bit rate? The person is asking right on YouTube.
Okay, how can you drop your bit rate? Now, first thing first, before you even set your bit rate, you need to have even test what your internet is giving you. So you do your upload test, and probably is giving you 1 meg of upload. I would advise, if you have a 1 meg of, and then if you have 1 meg of upload, I would advise that you don't push beyond 600 kilobytes. And then again, there are some streaming streaming softwares that allows you to set your bit rates. So you can set your bit rates to whatever space. But if you are going to drop your bit rate, you might have to stop the stream at that point and then go back to your settings and drop your bit rate.
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you, sir. We also have a question. You mentioned DVR. Please, what is the meaning of DVR, sir?
Okay. Let me not blow big English, but DVR is something on YouTube.
Yes, sir.
That you can't rewind, as it were, during a live stream. So if I'm just as we are broadcasting now, if we enable a DVR, you can't drag back and say, let me go and watch what he said in 10 or 15 minutes ago. So that's in a layman's explanation. That's what DVR does.
All right, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm with you, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. I think that's all the questions. We've exhausted the question. Let me double check here on Zoom. Yeah, that's all the questions. Thank you very much, sir, for your time.
Someone is asking,
one more.
What is the, can I go ahead?
Please, sir, go ahead.
What is the average cost of an hardware encoder? Like the one I showed, currently is going for $180 on Amazon. So calculate that to the current exchange rates. $180 on Amazon
Wow.
currently.
All right, so we also have one more question here on Zoom. The person is asking, how can I live stream on Facebook with two phones? With the two of them working together, one as the main camera on stage, the other one as the main camera on the audience.
Okay, so that is where the softwares I mentioned earlier, OBS, vMix, Wirecast, OBS, vMix, Wirecast. These are like the major softwares that we have outside now. So at that point, you have two phones. That means if you're going to do that, you won't be going live on you won't be going on Facebook Live on those two phones. So those two phones automatically becomes your camera. And there are softwares, Irium, Android cams. If you're using Android phones, you can turn on the USB debugging on your phone so that you can use a USB cable to send your signals from your phone. So your phone becomes the camera, and then you aggregate the feeds on the broadcasting softwares, like I said earlier, vMix, OBS, Wirecast. And from that point, you can mix and you can send your final mix to your Facebook Live, to your to your YouTube, Instagram, or anywhere you want to send it to. I hope I answered your question, Lemon Victor.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Someone is asking, can we, just the way we have APC for this session, can we have DEF speaking about the more intense topics?
Well, I guess it's a series that I know, so I'm sure moving on from here, we'll continue the conversations.
Sir, then there's also a question of, do we subscribe to those sites for streaming, the StreamYards and the other ones you mentioned?
Okay, so most of those sites, you need to have an account on it, and some of them will tell you that we can give you endpoints for free, maybe 2 endpoints for free. If you want more than 2 endpoints, then you begin to pay. And so they will tell you that with these free endpoints that you have, we are going to put our logos as watermark. So what you now have to do is search for all these multi-stream platforms and look for the one that fits your purpose. There's Caster, there's Restream, there are tons of it outside on the internet. So you look for the one that fits your purpose and do what you have to do. But basically, most of them will tell you, we'll give you 2 endpoints for free, maximum of 2 endpoints. If you want more, then you go ahead and buy a subscription plan.
Okay, thank you, sir. We have one more question. So, Sunday is asking that, is there a specific phone we can use for live stream or any phone?
Well, as the better your camera, the better the camera of your phones, the better your video. So you don't expect the picture quality of a Samsung S24 and a Tecno Phantom 8. You don't expect the same quality. And all this, so you don't expect the same quality. And all this also is still falls back to your internet, as it were. So the better the phone, the better your picture. So there's no phone. So even if you have, as long as the phone has the ability to connect to a Wi-Fi or can do USB debugging, you are good to go.
All right, thank you very much for the time, Mr. Leke. We are so grateful. We've come to the end of that session. And tonight has been so eventful, starting from Pixel for Purpose, going on to the mastery of content creation as we furthered into the ABC of live streaming. It's been from one training to another. And here you are staying to the very end. We are saying thank you for being a part of this. And to those on Zoom, thank you for coming. Those on YouTube, thank you for coming. But before you leave tonight, we have one more thing to do. Please pick up your phones now. If you are yet to follow us on Instagram, please follow us at RCCG Yaya Global or RCCG Yaya Global. That's the first one. Then RCCG Yaya Expressions. And also, if you are on YouTube, please make sure you subscribe to the channel. The link is right there on the page. We want to make sure that you are with us. Like we've mentioned, it is a series. We are not done yet. We are just starting. And we want you to be with us every part of the journey. Thank you for coming to today's edition. This is day one. Day two continues. We might start a little earlier so that we're able to cover our sessions and students today. So please get ready. Get ready. All the links on the pages, please make sure that you click them, follow, and engage. Of course, you can reach out to our facilitators when you check out the RCCGIA Global and RCCGIA Expression. You will see some of our facilitators tagged, so you can follow them, engage with them, make interactions. These connections are important. You can start building them from now, right? So thank you all once again for joining. Good night, and God bless you. Please let's not forget the session continues tomorrow. Tomorrow we might start a little earlier, like I mentioned, but please do not forget it continues tomorrow. So don't do a mistake of leaving the page yet. We continue tomorrow. So like we commonly say, we go again. All right. So we go again tomorrow. And yes, I want to see you there, and don't come alone. Invite the media guys to your church. When you get to church tomorrow, tell them that program we attended today. It was very impactful. You want them to join, right? They can also get the recording of today's session on YouTube. So make sure you tell at least one person about this training and make sure you both join in tomorrow. God bless you. If there's any other additional information, so make sure that you're connected, and it will also be passed across on social media. So let's just end the call with a closing prayer. Our Father, we thank you for this training. Thank you for how that you've helped us from the be that exalted in Jesus' name. We ask that as we continue tomorrow, you take charge and you will help us to make the best of this bootcamp in the name of Jesus. For in Jesus' name we pray, amen. Make sure to have a lovely time with God tomorrow. And as earlier mentioned, please do not come alone. Make sure you come with somebody. Thank you all very much.